Okay. Namaste, great souls. Wonderful to be back and practicing together. I'm going to keep it pretty simple as our theme today is just to focus on the heart and bringing like all our stuff, all our neurosis, all our fears, anxieties, insecurities into the heart as a cleansing, as a way of cleansing all the stuff. Not that, maybe you're not feeling a lot of the fears, doubts, insecurities, which is awesome, but we just want to remember to breathe and nourish ourselves and allow all that to be our heart cleansing. So I'll demonstrate this as we get started. Step back a little bit here. And so sitting comfortably. And just take a moment, several moments actually, crossing out the thumbs, bringing our hands over our heart, closing the eyes, and breathing into the heart center, softening the shoulders, opening through the crown. Hear that oceanic sound. And bring to mind someone or something that you love. It could be a person, it could be a pet, it could be a cause. And let that feeling of love evoke in the heart center. And then taking a little deeper to reflect on where does this feeling of love emulate from? So before the person or the pet, there's a natural love of the heart that's here already. The person we respond or the pet, we respond to it through behaviors and caring, but that love's already here. And that's what I want to just remember that. It sounds so simple, but the love's already here, and that we can return to that again and again and let it source us, let it fuel us, let it emulate and bring it to whatever we're experiencing, any challenges, etc. Or just simply being in that gratitude place of tuning into the love and compassion. Okay. Let's do some heart openers. Breath of joy, bringing the hands in namaste, exhaling, rounding the spine. Plucking the chin to the hollow at the throat. And then inhaling, sweeping the arms up. Feel the space all around you. Expanding front, back, sides of the heart. And maybe interlock, maybe have the fingers pressed down, squeeze and soak, look up gently. And then floating the arms out to the side. And bringing your right hand toward the left knee and doing almost like a half moon stretch seated. So we're going to bring the left arm up and then over. So as we feel the love energy of the heart, it's, easy to feel that sweet feeling, but there's also a muscular feeling to love, of course, that strength and courage of love, that activation. It's both, of course, it's many things, of course. So we're feeling the strength and courage, filling our body cells of the love energy. Inhale. We're going to add the deeper twist. We're going to bring our left hand down and then twist, navel to the spine, chin parallel to the floor. Ease back a little bit, and then twist again. Ease out if that speaks to you, or sustain the twist. Tuning in to every breath. And then inhale, expand the wings of joy, opening up and bringing your left hand over to your right knee, starting with the twist, but thinking of more of that side stretch, like our half moon, but we're seated. And that muscular strength of the heart, that activation of the strength and courage, fill my body cells. The natural love of the heart, the natural love within, expanding and activating. Inhale, stretching up, and then over into our deeper twist now from the core. Exhaling, chin parallel, twisting. You can sustain it, or you can ease back a little bit. And then twist again. Feel the spine. And then ease. And one more time. Twist. And then back. And expand those wings of joy. Feel front, back, and sides of the heart expanding, interlocking our hands by your side. Squeeze and soak. So whatever complex emotions may be coming through, we just allow that. We allow that to filter through the heart center and get washed. We don't want to deny it. We want to move in and through. And then back. Breathing in, breathing out, back to the heart center. Very good. Okay, let's move the legs. Draw the knees in. And do some core activation. So we're going to balance on the sit bones, lengthen the heart, draw the shoulders down, lengthen through the crown, reach underneath the thighs, and just lifting the right foot. The tendency is the spine wants to round, so we have to lengthen up even more. Lift the left foot, and now you can either hold on or challenge yourself with releasing the hands. On the exhale through the mouth, we're going to tap that right foot down, blow out through the mouth. And then switch. Do this several times. Pulsing. And exhaling. Generating probably some heat now. One more round. Excellent. Plant the feet. Lift the heart, lift the crown, shoulders away from the ears, and then round down. So we'll exhale and start to melt the lumbar. Keep the core activated, low back, mid back, upper back, press through the feet. Sweep the arms up. Feel the entire spine touching the earth, that wonderful ground underneath us. And let's do our figure four. Drawing the right knee in, rotating the ankle, is warming up gradually. Flexing through the right foot, draw the right knee away from you. In that triangle of space, reach through. And use your elbow like a wedge to open up. Let's just meditate on the sound of the breath. Just work on lengthening your inhale, lengthening your exhale. You can add an affirmation, the I am. What quality do you want to bring in? What's coming to me is I am peace. There's maybe joy. I'm healthy, whatever speaks to you as a quality to bring in to affirm. And then extending the left leg, you may or may not be able to grab that toe. You can use a strap, stretching through the hamstring. And that fear, releasing any unconscious, subconscious fears, back of the behind the knee. Give yourself some nourishment there by the touch and sound. So breath, movement, sound, all very healing. And easing out, easing out. Before we go the other side, we draw the right knee into the shoulder. The feet are on the outer corners of the mat. Arms out to the side, windshield wiper. Draw your knees to the left. Head turns to the right. And let's bring that right arm, or let's see what feels good to you. Kind of move side to side with both arms. And see if you want your right arm to come up and over to affirm, or your left. Divine life is within me and all around me. And we're tuning into that divine love that is within you. We tune into it. We usually associate it, the love for others, that is coming from within and is expressing to others, is within me and all around me. Engage the core. Knees come back up, reset, readjust. And of course, we'll do the figure four to the other side. Bending the left knee, rotating the ankle, circling around. And when you're ready, flexing through the foot, drawing that left knee away from you. And that triangle of space, reaching through, either underneath your thigh or on top of the knee, using your elbow as a wedge. And just meditate on the sound of the breath, sensations in the body. If you want to lengthen the exhale, one of the classic yoga pranayams is inhale to 4, hold the breath to 7, exhale to 8. I use that a lot on the cruise in the middle of the night when it was difficult to sleep for various reasons. And what I would do is I would just do it like a round, like a mudra. And usually I wouldn't go past the 10 fingers before I thankfully got tranquilized and calmed down and in that restorative mode. So that speaks to you. You could do that now or whenever you think of it. If you'd like, extending through the hamstring, reaching up or using that strap, and then gently massaging, easing fears, worries, anxiety, out of the backs and the knees, more the fear. Lengthening the exhale is always a good idea for relaxation response. Notice where your spine, the central channel, feel the support of the earth and the nourishment of ground underneath you, supporting ground. And the inversion of the blood flow in the opposite direction with the hamstring, very healthy, and the other leg. And release. Okay, drawing that left knee in and planting the feet not too firmly because we're going to bring them out to the side corners of the mat, arms out, opening the heart and drawing the knees over to the right. Head turns to the left. Do a little sway with the arms. me bring that left arm, but you decide what feels best to you. And affirming or the divine love is within me and all around me. Just returning back to the natural love of the heart, to the divine love of the heart. Let everything return and be cleansed and realign. Okay, engage the core. Knees come up, adjust, reset, recenter. Draw the knees in, inner borders of the feet together, circle the knees wide away from you. 3 times in that direction. And then 3 times in the opposite. Okay, lifting the feet up, happy baby. Moving from the right corner of the abdomen over to the left, over to the side here. Side to side. If you want to go ahead and extend that leg, go ahead and extend that leg. Heads easing from the side as we stretch through the hamstrings or stretch through definitely digestive areas here. And go ahead and hug those knees in, flex and point, flex and point, flex and point. And we're going to bring our right upper arm by our ear, roll onto our side to transition. And before we go into our down dog, we will do the Pilates move. I think I'm going to bring a weight in. You don't have to do this, but if you want more strengthening, and you know they have those balls, those 2-pound balls, whatever you have to help strengthen. So first is a cat-cow. Exhale, rounded spine. Chin tucking, and then scooping out. And then exhale, rounding. And scooping out. And now fairly neutral spine to start out. So it's called bird dog in Pilates. Walk the hands in a little bit. Walk that right knee in. So we'll just first start, if you don't have the weight, with the right elbow to left knee, and then extend. Now feel the difference if you do have a weight. Drawing that right elbow to left knee, and then extend out. Let's do this a couple more times. Of course, you're going to get the benefit either way. Just more strengthening if we add the weight, or if we have those, anything that will help to strengthen the balls or the weight. Extend. And lower that hand down. Right or left toes under, and press back through the left hamstring. And we'll take it into a downward dog before we go the other side. So lifting up the tailbone, full body stretch, stretching it out. Keep pressing through the base of the fingers. We know the physical alignment principles, magnetizing the heart toward the thighs. But we're invoking the calmness, peace, radiate through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. If you like, you can make a small circle with the head. or stay stable, relatively stable, whatever works for you, listening to your body always. And then coming down onto the knees, take your time there, transition smoothly. Walk the knees in a little bit closer, have your weight or the ball there. Just have your props set up for you. Okay, so we're going to start with the left elbow to right knee and then extend out. Left elbow, right knee. And then if you have the weight, add on. Drawing in, extending out. One more time. This one's a little more challenging for some reason for me, and maybe easier, harder, the same. And then lower down. Right toes turn under, pressing through that right hamstring. Thank you, body, for all you can do and for showing up today. Okay, let's do the tailbone. Stretch it out, spread those fingers wide. So base them. Let's add some ripple here, meaning bending the knees slightly, rippling through the spine, get that fluidity. And then feel the difference when we root and ground into this really magnetizing here without the rolling. Calmness, peace, radiate through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. You want to make that small circle with the head, feel free. And let's start to walk one foot closer in than the other, one hand and the other walking back, balance between the heel and the ball of the foot, the 4 points of the feet. You can have a slight bend of the knees, rest your hands at the hollows of the elbows, relax and cast aside unnecessary mental burdens. And always inviting to let go, especially in this forward bend, so symbolic of releasing blood flow to the brain, cleansing the mind. Okay, let's bend the knees, lift the heart, sweep the arms back, sweep the arms forward, pulse. 3 times. 1 more, sweep the arms back. And then rising up. Inhaling. Stretching up. And feeling the space all around you. Make sure you're not overarching in the lumbar. Swirl that fresh life force prana that's from within, all around you. And it's all around us too, of course. And you could go about to shoulder width here. Come into our mountain pose, or I'm going to take a sip of lemon water. Okay, so grounding and rooting, and then rising. And energy rises up. Open sky energy. I'm not going to do a classic sun salute, but I'd love to invoke saluting the sun, the higher consciousness within all beings. As we breathe in and breathe out, and again, feel that natural love of the heart. We remember to just keep tuning back to that natural love of the heart. It's going to be such a benefit to our mind and our spirit. Okay, let's flow. Let's tap into the spiritual eye, seat of intuition, into the crown, 1,000-petal lotus. Lengthen and grow. And back bend. Heart lifts. And reaching forward, hinging forward. And when I say hinging forward, meaning let the arms float back and then bend the knees and come into our Virabhadrasana 1. So maybe that wasn't a hinge, but we're gonna let that left knee bend and that right foot back. And again, if you wanted to use the weights, have them by your side, if not with the arms. Okay, we're going to do our attuning. I attune my will to the source of all power. I'm going out to the side, with or without weights. I attune my will to the source of all power. And again, it doesn't have to be big weights. 1, 2, 3, I think these are 5 pound, whatever works for you. I attune my will to the source of all power. Feel that attunement. And we're going to now interlock. So if you have the weights, of course, we'll have to put them down. We're going to sweep the arms around us, expand the heart energy, the natural love of the heart, and then come forward. Big exhales. The left shoulder could tap on inside the knee or on the lower thigh. As we're bowing to the wisdom of the heart, letting it lead the way. And releasing the hands, it's intense. Let's come into pyramid. Let's step that back foot in a couple inches, turn the toes forward, draw the left hip back, the right hip forward. You can use blocks here. You could use your weights to prop the floor closer to you. And we're just sort of letting ourselves expand into the flow of grace. Feel especially the back of the heart opening. I open myself into the flow of grace. Yeah, meditate on the sound of the breath, the quality, that's the grace. It's expanding into it. Here, we're just tuning into it. Okay, and we're going to bend our left knee, and we're going to transition to our plank pose. Reaching the crown forward, the heels back. Forward and back, and then bring one forearm down, then the other. You can stabilize or go forward and back a little bit. And then the tops of the knees touch. Unfurl the toes into Sphinx pose. And get the shoulder hydration going. And bring the fingertips in and just look over that right shoulder, over the left shoulder. Hydrating. Into locust series, Salambhasana. So we'll bring our arms down by our side. We'll go ahead and lift the upper body and the right leg. Inhale, recharging the spine, opening our wings of joy. Exhale. Left leg, upper body pulses up. Exhale, ease. Now this time, see if you can bring both legs up. Inhale as we expand. And soar upward on our wings of joy. Maybe our wings of joy want to lift off a little bit, maybe not. Exhale, ease down all the way down. Float out to the side again, maybe a little bit wider, maybe not. And ease one more time, see if you can interlock. And recharge the spine. So we're up on the wings of joy. And now we get to melt and soften and release. Bring your hands, the spiritual eye, large toes touch, heels apart. Soften the shoulders. And just know that there's light there. There's light at the spiritual eye. We're letting it, again, just like the heart, we're tuning to it. We're opening to that light. We're opening to the love that's already here, already whole, already free. Now we're going to rise up into our Bhujangasana, our Cobra pose, at your pace, at your timing. With the feet hip width apart, legs are strong. Hands underneath the shoulders, elbows by your side. Remember that imaginary block between the inner thighs. Inhale, rising up to meet the opportunities of this day. Your knees could be on or off the ground as we add the lion's breath. Do that a couple times, stick out the tongue, eye gaze up. All right, knees touch down if they're not already. Let's take rest here. Knees wide open into prayer pose. So stretching out again, I like to lift up onto the fingertips. Again, tuning back into the intuition, the light of the spiritual eye. The natural love of the heart. And that muscular strength of the heart too. That takes us into action when needed. And let's go ahead and round the spine. Coming back to down dog, taking your time, turning the toes under, hover for a couple breaths here before we straighten out. Can't help but hear the sound of the breath. That's beautiful. Just meditate on that sound, a unique sound as you perhaps tread it back and forth, bending one knee, extending through that opposite arm and leg, doing the bilateral. There's so much research on bilateral movement, opposite movements, helping the brain, helping the body. Yoga is filled with that. Now we have the research to help us understand the benefits more. Calmness radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. We're always affirming our deeper truth. Or you can, of course, add in your quality. Stepping one foot forward, then the other. One hand, then the other. And let's massage the back of the neck. The ego can get stuck. This pose just helps it naturally draw into the spiritual eye and not get just stuck in our limited separate self. I'm the doer, and that's as far as it goes. So we want to open up to something much more expansive that's moving through us. Inhale, lift the heart, bend the knees, sweep it back. Chair pose, Uttanasana, sweep forward. The deeper you go, of course, in the bend with the knees, the more you're going to feel it. 3 pulses, and then sweep back. And then we'll bring it in as we sweep up. And coming up to the front of our mat. And feel the space all around you. Let that energy, that fresh life force energy, circulate literally around us, within us, and all around us. As we come into our mountain pose, either with namaste hands or eagle heart mudra. You're open through the crown. At the same time, rooted through the feet. So that that energy goes way beyond our body, right? Expanding way above our physical body and then way below our feet and the crown of our head. But we're this conduit of energy, feeling it in our bodies. Okay, saluting to that light within, saluting to the love within. And expansion of higher consciousness for all beings. We could bring in anyone you'd like to send healing energy to. So it's a wonderful practice as we move with those prayers of care for others as we move here. So coming back and stepping our left foot back, right foot forward. Into our Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1, dragging that knee over, drawing the tailbone down, and bring the weights in again. You can or not. Okay, inhale, and arms come up. I attune my will to the source of all power. Really breathe into that affirmation and the attunement, the expansion. I attune my will to the source of all power. Breathing in, breathing out. I'm pulsing with my legs here. You could say stable or pulse. Open the toes, which they like to scrunch in, and then bring your weights down if you have them. Open the heart even more by the interlock. That's too much for the interlock, hands on the hips. Ankle just slightly so that when we come forward, this right shoulder could be inside that knee or just lightly resting on the lower thigh. See where your neck wants to be. You don't want it too far tucked down or too extended. Hear the sound of the breath. And release the hands for the pyramid pose. Step that back foot in, a couple inches, turn the toes forward. Use blocks here, draw that right hip back, left hip forward. As you open and flow with grace. I open to the flow of grace within me. And really breathe into the back of the heart. Hear the oceanic sound of your breath. You could really hear it here in this tuck position. Open to the flow of grace. Okay, bending the knee and transitioning into our classic flow. Stepping the right foot back into our plank. Let's add a half push-up if possible. Back up. Forward. Back. Bring one forearm down, then the other. Couple breaths here. You can go forward, you can go back. Just don't collapse the head or the belly. And then come down on top of the knees into our Sphinx pose again. But we're going to look over the right shoulder and then the left. And back to center. So already we're in back bend. Keep the legs strong. We're in the back bend here. If possible, now we did the arms to the side and the arms back down by our side. Now it's much more challenging. See if your body wants to do this or choose the option earlier to extend the arms forward. See how that feels for your body. We're going to do an opposite here. Lifting the right arm, left leg, pulse it up. Inhale, recharge. And exhale, ease. Of course, the other side, left arm, right leg, pulse it up. Inhale. And ease. See what happens with both arms, both legs. Inhale. Keep breathing here. Easing down a little bit, but not touching the earth. Inhale. Opening the wings of joy. And now we can rest. We can stack the one hand on top of the other. Large toes touch, heels apart. Rest at the spiritual eye. Soften the shoulders. That's really key. Consciously breathe. Tuning into sound and rhythm. And if you're going through a lot, you can make that audible exhale, that ha sound. It helps it, the breath, the movement, the sound, that ha. Now letting go sound, release sound. And then feet are hip width apart. We're going to rise up into our Bhujangasana again. Cobra. Ready to greet this day, opportunities of this day. We'll find out as we inhale in the present moment, breath by breath. Add the lion's breath. Excellent. Let the knees touch down. And again, that wide stance in our prayer pose after we've done the flow, strong flow, warrior flow. Lift the fingertips, or lift the wrists, fingertips touch, spiritual eye, crown towards the earth, open to the flow of grace. And slowly round up. Go back to our rounded cat. Just a nice transition, toes turn under, scoop it out. Look over to the right shoulder, right hip. Back to center. Left shoulder, left hip. Probably won't see that hip, but the left shoulder you're looking over. And back. And full body stretch again. Take your time, hover off the knees, a couple breaths. And then pour back. See what your body wants to do now. And down dog. I tend to move between fluidity, stability. Invoking the quality. Calmness piece is a classic affirmation in this pose, but you may want to bring in quality you'd like, gratitude, whatever it is. I expand into that calm, radiating. Gratitude, peace radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. And step it forward. Let's take it a little bit deeper. If you can, bring the palms of the hands underneath the soles of the feet. If that doesn't work, clasp the elbows. And you're just going to kind of rock side to side to release any pressure buildup of the wrist from all the down dogs. Texting. It was I got on the cruise, it was a lot of money to text or use your phone. And so it kind of forced a break on that, which was actually, I didn't realize it, that was going to happen, but it was quite refreshing to take that break. I didn't plan on it. In other words, it just happened. I could have spent a lot of money and had myself engaged on my phone, but that was just part of being in on the water, not to have that access. I was just thinking of that with the texting hands. Okay, releasing and bending the knees, sweeping up. Exhale, space all around you. Rooting down, rising up. Open to the natural love of the heart. Open to the natural light of intuition. Do one more standing pose. I'm adding the weights today to, always bring the weights if you like this practice to add more strength. Now we'll either do a classical triangle. If you do the classical triangle without weights, the left foot's turned out to the side. If you're using weights, it's better on your body to turn the toes in. Let me just demonstrate this. So we all know the classic triangle without weights. With weights, the toes are turned in, the arms reach out, bring the arms over, the left arm down, the right arm up. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Using the weights, keep the arms extended like this. If not, go into Utthita, extending the arm over by the ear, the right arm, inner arm. Inhale, coming back up. And then resting, going to the other side, expanding and over. Okay, head to tail connected. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Let me demo without the weights. Right foot is out, using the block perhaps. If you wanted to go into Utthita, you're welcome to. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Coming back. Expanding up. And let's just come into a wide angle extension. Elongate through the spine. Exhale, maybe clasp the ankles.
crown of the head toward the earth, navel to the spine, squeeze and sew. Really tune into the sound of the breath. You can't help but hear it in our forward folds, especially. Inhale, elongate. We're going to just transition into pigeon here. So, if possible, coming in to a three-legged down dog, meaning the right leg lifts up. If not, that's okay. We're going to bend the right knee to the chest and bring the right knee between the hands, sliding on top of that left knee, walking your heel somewhere by that left hip bone there, somewhere in that area. I like to make a fist with the hands and rise up. And Ekapada Raja Kapatanasana. Okay, as we're expanding up, then we're going to melt down. So first we get our expansion upward, and then that melting down again. That we're always playing with the yin and yang in yoga. Back to resting at our intuition, releasing the past, releasing the future. Of course, the brain goes there. Don't get down on yourself, but we can return to this present moment, to the eternal now. Rest in the eternal now, doing the best I can to release the past, to release thoughts of the future, resting in the eternal now. And when it's time, we're going to rise up, have the hands underneath the shoulders again, expansive heart. You feel all the chakras, petals opening to the light, opening to the sun, being fed, being watered, being nourished. And then, if possible, turning the back toe under and transitioning first into our downward facing dog. And then maybe our three-legged dog, lifting the left leg up. Same how this side does. Bending the left knee and bringing the left knee toward the chest. Bringing the knee between the hands. And then sliding on top of that right knee. Making a fist with the hands. Elbows are facing inward. So we shake here. And then that uplifting energy. And then the calming, the grounding energy. Let yourself melt down. Stack the other hand on top. Rest of the spiritual eye. Learning to tune in more and more to the love and the light and the wisdom within. As we tune into the love, the light, the wisdom within, coming into this present moment, and we can allow whatever the stuff that may be past, future, whatever's going on, just have a bigger, expansive place to return to. Let this be bigger than maybe our fears, our doubts, our worries. My rest in the eternal now.
Some people report maybe a little bit uncomfortable in the belly, but also know that you're getting this massage for the belly too. Frame it like that as we rise up. Inhale. Again, working on our digestion. And then we're going to sweep this back leg forward. So we're cooling down. We're bringing the right foot forward. We're bending the right knee. I should demo with the strap. You have the strap, or you can hold on to the foot, depending on what's going on with your body. Extending again, lifting the heart, lifting the head, stretching through the hamstring. Of course, there's many ways to do this. Maybe with the strap, or this, or if it's too much to have your leg in the ear, that's what I mean, many ways to do this. It could be a Jani Shirshasana. Okay. All right. And then we come down, take a moment, take a full yogic breath. Belly, heart, crown expands. And releases. And we do the same thing to the other side, either classic Jani Shirshasana like this, or having the strap or reaching the ball of the foot with the heart lifting, the spine elongating. Try not to round. And you're looking up. Just 3 to 4 breaths. Bending the knee and comfortable seat. All yogic breath, belly, heart, crown on the inhale, and then of course the opposite, crown, heart, belly, feet. All right, let's release our back, getting ready for our cool down, eventually moving into Shavasana. Arms reaching out. Exhale, melting the lumbar, the low, mid, upper back. We started this a little while back. Reaching up in the beginning of class and hugging both knees in. Let's take a classic twist. Interlock below the right knee. Extend that left leg out. And circle the right knee around. Hopefully feeling more integrated than when we started with our mind and our body. And love of the heart and spiritual awareness. Planting the right foot down, swivel the hips. Draw your left hand over toward that right knee, pulse back and forth, knee and shoulder, maybe extending perhaps that right leg, maybe not, left toes up, heart open, expansive through the heart center, and sweeping this right arm up and above and affirming a beautiful affirmation. Divine life, divine love is within me and all around me. Divine life, divine love is within me and all around me. Softening the right knee if it's time for you. Planting that right foot, adjusting onto your spine, and easing down. Full yogic breath here. Inner borders of the feet together. Of course, the same thing on the left side. Bend the left knee. And circle that left knee around, which is opening the hip. When it's time, plant the left foot, swivel, and opposites. Again, the bilateral, so much bilateral. Left knee drops down, and we rock back and forth between the knee and the shoulder, the knee and the shoulder. If you want, you could keep the knee bent or the leg extended, and sweeping when you're ready. First, get that heart opening, and then let this left hand come up and over, head's going along with the movement, affirming divine life, divine light is within me and all around me. Sometimes, or whenever you feel complete, keep the extension of the heart, and then soften that left knee, coming back onto the spine, the central channel, folding the left knee in, and then descending down. Take a wider leg, Shavasana, palms up, thumb, index finger together. Individual self is connected to something much greater. So it's all about in yoga. Okay, yoga union with the love, with the light, with our spirit, fueling this individual self. And noticing what, if you'd like to do a classic Shavasana like this, or I was going to introduce that there is the bridge pose with a block is known as a restorative. So it's optional, you know what you like if you want your legs up the wall. An option is to have the block like this for about 3 to 4 minutes, not long. And you would put the block on the sacrum, and then you would just have the toes turned in, supported. It's a supported bridge as a restorative. So just an option if you would like some part of your Shavasana like that, or you can just ease into whatever position feels right to you. As we just get and cozy and comfortable as possible. Okay. Very good. Get settled in here. I'll guide us through body relaxation. So when you're ready, depending, of course, in the bridge pose, we don't want to turn our head to side. If you are in a position that you can do so, ease your head gently from side to side. And eventually the head comes naturally into the central channel. And just know that you can visualize the crown of your head opening, the 1,000-petal lotus expanding to this sky, life. Softening the eyes, the eyelids, the eyebrows, the muscles, tiny muscles and nerves around the eyes. And your next inhale, you want to feel the cool air coming in through both nostrils. And maybe even feel that coolness at the spiritual eye from the inhalation. Light there. Just know that there's light there. And the warmth of that light coming through both nostrils on the exhale. Enjoy the pause, especially at the end of the exhale. Before the inhalation arises again. See how the upper and lower jaw can relax and soften. Notice sensation of taste inside the mouth. Relaxing the root of the tongue. The throat chakra. And turning to that oceanic sound again and again. As we ease our shoulders, our wings of joy, we did a lot of expansion. Now we're letting them soften and feel radiant sensation down both arms. Pulsation, energy in the palms of the hands and thumbs. And again, returning to that natural love of the heart. Breathing into the floor, the ceiling, the side walls of the chest. Think of someone or something you love. And know that the love is already here before we even think of that someone or that something. That activates our muscularity of that love. The divine love. And that truly source your being and all beings. Feeling the ribs ventilating with each inhale, with each exhale. Inhale is the expansion, the yawn. Exhale, rest, the yin. Belly's expanding with the breath. Take some time here. Not only digesting our food, but digesting our life, our circumstances, integrating them, allowing. Allowing whatever appears to be assimilated over time. Earth supporting the back of your body. If you are resting on the back of your body, whatever's touching the earth. cheeks. Feeling your lower limbs now, your thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, all the way through to the soles of your feet, digits of your toes, heels. Again and again, returning and being in what's already whole, already free, already aware. And if it's time for you to return to movement, you can do so. Or if you'd like to rest more in Shavasana, you're certainly welcome to do that. Either way, you're going to send the energy to others by visualizing those beings you'd like to send healing energy to through the Om sound, the 3-syllable Om sound, visualizing them at the spiritual eye. That's our broadcasting center of the body, as well as our intuitive center. Many things go on here as we perhaps generate some heat or not, or with the intention. And inhale. And bringing your hands into Namaste, acknowledging the divine awareness within you, recognizing that awareness in others. That's where we are one. As we bow to the wisdom of our heart, is always letting it lead the way and easing into the rest of your day. And I will end the recording here. Let's see for the